Hi, everybody. It's me, Elizabeth. Thank you for being here. And welcome to my first live stream, Streaming and Dreaming with Elizabeth. And tonight's topic is my very favorite. It's about dreams and visitation dreams and how to know the difference. And so I'm going to kind of run through what we're going to do here tonight for the next hour, and then we will jump into the content. So, first of all, this is my chime. I will use my chime to kind of bring us in and out of the session. And the chime is kind of a ritual that helps us know we are in a very sacred space, and it reminds us to be still and come into our heart center. Breathe with me. And so, dreams and visitation dreams, this is a very, very big topic. And so, what we're going to do tonight is kind of go through some basics. And then I'm going to open the chat up and get to as many of your profound experiences I possibly can. And of course, answer as many questions I can. And again, I'm so grateful that you are here with me right now. And of course, if you like the content, hit those hearts so we can share out even more about these very transformative experiences. And so I always begin all my programs with a little breath work to help us connect and kind of go within again. So tonight we're just going to do 3 deep breaths that I'm inviting you to do with me together. So eyes open, closed in between, kind of stretch up and settle in. And just take a big inhale and exhale, letting go of any stress or tension. And number 2, inhale, big breath, and exhale. Really releasing anything that's not needed in this present moment. And once more, inhale and exhale. Now I'm going to share my intention for this evening. It is my intention to share wisdom and knowledge and experience with as many of you as possible about dreams and visitation dreams, in the hopes that you might have one of these very profound experiences connecting with your loved ones in the spirit world. Thank you. And so many of you who watch my videos, you already know I'm an artist and an art therapist, and I am an expert in dreams and visitation dreams. And I have literally devoted my entire life and practice to this topic because it is so incredibly transformative. And these dreams are truly another path through grief because they help us understand that the connection is not lost, that our loved ones are not really gone, and that we can connect with them in this way almost at any time with a little training and a little practice. And it's very interesting, just for a little context, cultures and religions all over the world really celebrate these dreams and embrace these dreams and lean into these dreams as their truth. And in fact, research says that at least 50% of people who have lost someone they love, and I am talking person or pet, has had a dream or a visitation dream of them, And these are found to be extremely comforting and extremely healing and have huge implications for the grief process. And we also have visitation dreams and dreams of our loved ones during times of transition. And it's very interesting to me because in this country, if you're in the United States, a lot of us just kind of dismiss these things as not real, or we don't give them any true validation as being something meaningful. And so I really see my role in this space as also normalizing this experience and helping all of you understand that these experiences are real and true, and that dreams of our loved ones and visitation dreams are one way that our loved ones in the spirit world communicate with us. And again, it's something that we can learn and train to access at almost any time. And this is really a beautiful thing. And so having more of these dreams is the topic for the next live stream. So don't miss that one. And if you've just joined, we're covering the topic of dreams and visitation dreams and how do we know the difference. And so, one thing that I like to share when people are kind of dismissive of these kinds of experiences, I default to Albert Einstein, who's like the greatest physicist of all time. And Albert Einstein said that energy cannot be created or destroyed. Well, love is energy. I think we'd all agree on that. And that means that the love that you share with your loved one still exists. It's in another place, in another dimension, and it's a place, again, that you can access. So I always say there is no such thing as a lost loved one. And I'm going to repeat that. There is no such thing as a lost loved one. So I'm inviting you now to kind of open your hearts and your souls and your whole entire being to these truths as we dive into how to know the difference between a dream and a visitation dream. Okay, so dream work rule number one is the answer as to what kind of a dream you are having, only you can know for sure. When we do dream work as therapists with our clients, we know the golden truth is the dreamer's point of view always holds sway. Okay, so I'm going to give you a lot of ways to distinguish different types of dreams, but in the end, you are the one who has this answer. And that's why when people say, oh, I can interpret your dream, or this dream means this, or this dream means that, I always say, run the other way if you hear that, because only you can really know the meaning of your dream. And think about this. You have your own personal associations. Of course, you have your relationship to your loved one. You also have, everyone has different cultural and religious beliefs. And all of these things together help us understand, is it a dream or is it a visitation dream? So I'm going to put a few bullet points on the screen right now, and I'm going to kind of cover these general distinctions that have been gathered from years and years and years of research on this topic. And we already covered that only you have the answer, and you kind of use these parameters. So number one, in distinguishing a dream from a visit, how does the dream feel? Okay, so when we have a normal dream, or what I'm going to call a grief dream because it has your loved one or your fur baby in the dream, I can be kind of confusing, or it feels like a normal dream, or maybe you wake up and you feel sad or a little curious, but it doesn't feel like anything out of the ordinary. Now, that being said, any dream that has your loved one in it is a very important and special dream. And these dreams have lots of what we call dream medicine in them. They have lots of symbolism and lots of information to share, but they're very, very different from a visitation dream. A visitation dream is very, very somatic. That means we feel it and we smell it and we experience our loved one just like they are sitting with us right in the present moment. So I've had visitation dreams where my bestie is kind of nuzzling into my neck, or my father is holding me and I can really feel his clothing. And I've had people and clients tell me they can smell their loved one, or their loved one reaches out and touches them and hugs them. And as the dreamer, maybe we're even crying in the dream visitation and we can feel the tears absolutely streaming down our face. And again, we feel our loved one, we experience their love, and we know in a very profound way that they are with us right there in the present moment. It's a very, very different experience. And so, number two, distinguishing factor from dream and a visitation. What did they say? Okay, so we've all had kind of these crazy dreams where we're not even following the conversation, or people are saying things, or maybe they're speaking in a language we don't even understand. But in a visitation dream, our loved ones have come to tell us something very profound and meaningful and healing and loving. So they might tell you that they're okay. They might tell you that they love you and they're always with you every single moment. They might tell you they're so sorry that they had to leave you. Whatever it is they're saying, it's very, very meaningful. And I've had many clients say that sometimes their loved one is communicating with them almost telepathically, and the dreamer knows exactly what their loved one is trying to say without any words at all. This is kind of magical and miraculous and incredibly, incredibly healing. So that's number two. Number three, how does your loved one look? Okay, this is a really interesting thing because in our normal dreams, our loved ones, especially if they were sick in the end or something, God forbid, tragic happened, they appear in the normal dream almost like they look during that time, or maybe the unconscious has served up a memory of them from some time, a long time ago. But in a visitation dream, your loved one is going to look healthy. They are going to look younger. They might be all dressed up in a beautiful suit. It's a completely different experience, and I believe it's because they want you to know that they are well, that they are okay, and most importantly, if they were in pain, that they are no longer suffering. And so that's number three. And now, the most important way to help you distinguish a dream from a visitation dream is how you feel when you wake up. Okay, this is really the most profound experience, because with a normal dream, you might wake up and be very curious. Maybe you feel a little sad, maybe you're confused. But with a visitation dream, you wake up and you know 100% for sure that you have just been with your loved one. Now, I've had this experience, and so many of my clients, they wake up, and if they were crying in the dream, we're still crying. We can feel overwhelmed or even confused, like, how could this possibly have happened? But it did happen. And we feel connected, and we feel the love connection. And it's the most profound, blessed feeling that we can have when our loved ones are on the other side, because we know that we have been with them. We know that we have interacted with them. We know that we have actually felt and been in the space of their love again. And this changes your life, right? So you wake up from a visitation dream and you're forever changed. And the feeling doesn't leave you that day or that week. It doesn't leave you for the rest of your life. I have literally had clients tell me they had a visitation dream decades ago that has stayed with them, that they can call up, that help them understand that this connection is real, and it is the most beautiful connection. And again, these are experiences that we can access and that we can bring forward with time and with patience and with practice. So those are the main distinguishing factors that are going to help you understand if you had a dream or a visitation dream. And I'm just checking to see if I left anything out in that. I've covered the distinctions. And so what I'm going to do now is go to the chat. I'm super excited. And of course, if you like the content, hit those hearts. And if you've just joined in, we're now chatting about dreams and visitation dreams and how to know the difference. So again, I'm going to check out the chat now and keep going. Okay. What do we have here? Good evening. Oh, no one. Where is it?
That's it.
Oh,
Just can't wait and good evening.
can't wait. Good evening. Does anyone have any questions about dreams or visitation dreams that they'd like to share? I will share some of my personal experiences as I watch the chat. Oh, Michael joined. Welcome, May. We've got a bunch of people. Anyone wanting to share their experience? So I think while we're kind of watching the chat, I'll dive into some of my own experiences about visitation dreams. And so about a year and a few months ago, my very, very best friend, Byron Keith Bird, departed this planet and left to go into the spirit world. And he was my best friend in the whole world. And somehow at the end of his life, we were very, very estranged from each other. And this was very difficult and sometimes can happen for a number of reasons. But before he died, he had come to visit me in New York, and I had made sure he came to visit me because every single summer he always came here and painted with me in my studio. But still, even after that last visit, we were just barely talking for a multitude of reasons. And so he transitions and he's gone. And of course, I'm devastated because I am racked with just so much guilt and so much pain and thinking, what could I have done differently? What could I have said? And my whole family gathers, my husband, my kids, and we have this beautiful celebration of life for Byron. And it's on a Saturday. And Sunday morning, probably at 4 a.m., I'm in the hotel and I have a visitation dream from Byron. And here's what happened in the dream. So we are in motor vehicles office and we are in line and I'm standing there with Byron and his niece Stephanie and we're waiting for our turn, and the woman at motor vehicles is kind of looking at us and just saying something like, you have so much love all around you. There is so much love there. And in that moment, Byron comes over to me and he nuzzles into my neck and I feel him. Everybody feels a certain way and he's nuzzling me and I smell him and the dream becomes very, very sensory experienced. And I know he's with me right now and he looks well and he looks healthy. It kind of checks off all of the boxes. And he looks at me and he calls me by my pet name, which was Ellie. And he says, Ellie, you knew what I needed. It's all about love. And I'm crying in the dream. And in that moment, all of my guilt and all of my worry and all of my regret kind of just melts away because this is just a pure experience of connection. It's a pure experience of love. It changed me and it kind of opened the link or the frequency for me to communicate with him in an ongoing way. And so this is about 16 months ago, and I have probably had 100 dreams with Byron in them since he left. And I'd probably say 20% of them are visitations. And I know this sounds crazy, but somehow, because he is with me all the time in my dreams, I don't feel like he's gone exactly. And it's completely transformed my grief because he and I had something so spectacular and wonderful in life. He lived with me, he helped me raise my children. We had this magical, magical friendship for so long. And yet, now in death, in his transition, we have a completely different relationship. So, if you like the topic, keep hitting those hearts. And if you've just joined, we are talking about the difference between dreams and visitation dreams and how you can know the difference. And I'm seeing all these people in the chat, and again, encouraging any of you to put your questions in there. But I'm happy to keep talking about my favorite topic. So, the other thing I'm going to say is I became so passionate about this work over the years and over my own experiences with dreams and visitation dreams that I started an entire program completely devoted to this topic. And it's called Awakening to Eternal Love and Comfort and Connection. And it's a month-long program that combines art therapy and ritual and meditation and all kinds of practices that I have brought forward from the world wisdom traditions and from consciousness research and all kinds of areas of Jungian psychology and depth psychology. And I ran a focus group last summer, and almost everyone in my group had dreams of their loved ones, people and pets. And everyone, hands down, said that it decreased their grief experience significantly. And this is why I'm so passionate about the entire process. And so, what we're talking about here is having dreams and visitation dreams of our loved ones, but the practices to have them actually help us cultivate a spiritual relationship with our loved ones in the spirit world, people and pets. And so, what does that mean? So, as I was saying before, our loved ones communicate with us in all kinds of ways. And they communicate with us through signs and through what Jungians called synchronicities. Those are things that we cannot explain, but they happen. So it's like when the butterfly lands on the windowsill or the song comes on the radio that you know your loved one wanted you to hear. It's when something happens in the spirit world and the real world at the same time. And so when we start noticing the signs and the synchronicities in our daily life, this is something that really helps us open to having dreams and visitation dreams at night. So I want to ask anyone out there, have you ever had a sign from your loved one or a synchronicity that you'd like to share? Because doing that honors your loved one and also helps you invite them to give you more signs. So, if anyone wants to share signs that they've had from their loved ones on the other side, I'd love to see that come into the chat as well. And if you've just joined, we're talking about dreams and visitation dreams and how to know the difference. We're also talking about how to have more of them. So I'm going to just share very spontaneously how I got into all of this, just so all of you out there have an idea of my background. So here's what happened. In 2016, I had a dream that told me to pay attention to my dreams. Repeat. I had a dream that told me to pay attention to my dreams. And I had no idea at all where that was going, but I listened to the calling. And as soon as I started listening, I was literally flooded with dreams and with experiences and visitations that were completely unexplainable. And I was so flooded that I threw myself into Jungian analysis with an amazing art therapist slash Jungian analysis to kind of understand where all this was going. And after a while, I just really got it that these dreams could completely heal my life. And they have. And so now I live my life pretty much every single day, waking up and journaling my dream and coming into my studio and unpacking it and trying to understand it. And most importantly, trying to find the dream medicine in my dream. So, again, if you've just joined, we're talking about dreams and visitation dreams and dreams in general. My favorite topic. Don't forget to hit those hearts. And I'm wondering, I think we're going to take a quick break, restroom and water, and I will be right back. Hi, everybody. We're back. And the topic is dreams and visitation dreams. We are streaming and dreaming with Elizabeth. And I really want to know from you in the chat if you've had a dream or a visitation dream, and also if you've experienced any signs or synchronicities. So, chat's open, waiting. I'm going to just keep telling stories in the meantime, and we're going to go till about 7:45 tonight. So I'm going to tell another really crazy story here, okay? So about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, my father, who was very elderly at the time, he began sharing his dreams with me. Now, this is something that no client has ever told me. I've never even heard this, but he was too old to kind of document his dreams or try to understand them. And so I became my father's dream surrogate. So when you do dream work in therapy, especially with a Jungian analyst, the idea is to unpack the dream and understand, what does the dream maker want you to know? What is the dream medicine here? And most importantly, what we look for in all dreams is, what is the action step we can take that's going to change or help heal our life. Now, remember, my dad is 92 at the time, and he's not taking too many action steps. But over the course of 3 or 4 months, every other day, I'm calling my parents, and my mother is saying, your dad had another one of his crazy dreams, and she's handing him the phone. And I don't know, maybe it was a couple of weeks into it that I understood that my father's dreams were telling me what he needed at the end of his life. This was very, very profound. Carl Jung, the father of shadow work and really the biggest psychiatrist in dream work, he says dreams are the guiding words of the soul. So I'm getting words directly from my father's soul. Okay? And over time, I'm understanding that my dad's going to get ill. And I am even understanding what's wrong with him when he becomes sick. Like, this is really happening in real time. I'm listening to my father, I'm recording his dreams every single day, and I'm seeing what he needs to do and what is most important to him in the end of his life. Okay? So I know he's going to become sick. His dreams show me that. I know that he's going to have a stomach problem. It's very, very, very specific. And before long, I even know about when my father is going to die. That's right. He has this dream, and in this dream, he's playing the numbers and he keeps winning and he keeps winning. And all of a sudden, he loses on the numbers 093. Okay? He's 92. He's in his 93rd year of life. And so, if you've just joined, we are talking about dreams of our loved ones and visitation dreams, but I am sharing part of my journey of how I got here and how my beloved father shared his dreams with me before he died. Okay. So now I know anytime in the next 6 months or so, my dad is going to die. And now his dreams start telling me what he needs. In one dream, he is talking to a rabbi and he's at temple, and my father in his younger life was president of the temple. So I go and get a rabbi to talk to my father. He is having dreams about always trying to get back to my mother. They were very, very, very much in love. And he's talking about her as his treasure. And then in another dream, my father is skiing and he's on the ski patrol and he loved to ski so much during his life. And so then what happens? My father dies, right? And he's in the hospital and it was horrible and he caught COVID even though he was vaccinated. And it was his time, but it was the height of COVID, so we couldn't even get too close to him. But the most amazing part of this was that after he passed away, because I knew how important my mother was to him, I knew exactly how to help my mother grieve. I was able to kind of dial my own grief back and hold the space for my mother's, which was a very transformative experience. And then kind of more miracles happen because, of course, my father starts sending me signs from the spirit world almost immediately. Okay. And the first one happened a few nights after he passed away. I was sleeping on a couch in his office because I was staying with my mom, and my dad loved the computer. He was obsessed with the computer. And I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I saw the mouse on the screen moving to my father's login. And I went, that didn't just happen. No. And I close my eyes and I wake up, I get up, maybe I'm dreaming, and I am wide awake, and it happens again. The mouse is moving, okay, and trying to log on to my father's username. And I am so freaked out. I call my brother. Now it's like 3:30 in the morning to see if he's logged in remotely. And of course, he hasn't. And this is the first sign that my father sends me from the spirit world after having this unbelievable, intense connection. And there are more signs, and I'm going to share a little bit more about them now. But of course, heart, heart, heart. This is such a profound topic and so healing and helpful to so many people. And it's really my life's passion and my whole life's work to help other people have these profound dreams and visitation dreams and experiences. So, if anyone wants to share their dreams or signs from their loved one on the other side, chat's open. I'm all ears. Okay, so fast forward, I cannot possibly share all the signs and signals I've gotten from my dad, but I will share a very recent visitation dream from him. So, about 9 months ago, I was about to have a major surgery and I was terrified. Of course, it was a procedure, it was 6 hours long. I'm not a spring chicken. It was not um, optional for me to have the surgery. And the night before the surgery was happen, my father came to me in a visitation dream. And it was so amazing. It checked off all of the boxes, but he was holding me and we were dancing together. I was dancing in my father, almost like the only time you would do that is at a wedding or a celebration, and I will get choked up um, even talking about the visitation. And my father said, "Sweetie, I just wanted to make sure that you were okay." And, you know, I woke up and I was so grateful to my dad for coming to me in that visitation. And of course, thankfully, the surgery went really well. And what's interesting to point out here is that something I said much earlier in the live stream is that our loved ones can come in visitation dreams during times of challenge and times of transition. And this is something that is also very, very well documented. So, if you liked hearing about my dad, whose name was Sonny, and I actually call him Paranormal Sonny because he's giving me signs all the time, then make sure you send off those hearts so we can share these very profound experiences and help other people have them. So, the chat's still open for a few more minutes. I'm so grateful to be here. And this is really my favorite thing. And even if you're in the chat, if you just want to say hi, I'd love to say hi to you back. So we've got Angie and Leanne and Emma. Um, yeah, lots of people out there supporting this work. And so, oh, thank you, Leanne. And so, if you're interested in this work and you're interested in having more dreams and signs and synchronicities, hi, Angie from Missouri. Thank you for that. Just kind of sharing out that if you want to have more of these experiences, then you should follow the link in my bio because that's going to get you linked into my free Zoom sessions on this topic. And also, I'll be sharing my full on program again this coming April. And by the way, I am writing my third book, this one completely devoted to the topic of dreams and visitation dreams and how to have more of them. And of course, follow me and watch my videos because it's really all I talk about all of the time. I'm actually going to share something with you when I teach, I always bring something of my dad's with me. And my dad was on the ski patrol. You heard me talking about that before. And this is one of his ski patrol buttons. And it's a wonderful symbol of my dad. And if you have followed me, then you know I talk a lot about symbols. And so I think that's what I'm going to do before we sign off. And so, symbols of your loved one are something that reminds you so much of them that anytime you see it, you are literally flooded with memories of your loved one. And it can be a button or a piece of clothing. If it's your fur baby, it can be their collar or their bowl. Whatever it is, there's no right or wrong. And if you think about it, we use these symbols to connect to our loved ones in all of my programs. And if you've ever been to a psychic medium or watched a psychic medium, oftentimes they will ask for a symbol or something that belonged to your loved one. And this is because symbols and things that belong to our loved one hold energy. Remember, Albert Einstein said energy cannot be created or destroyed. So these symbols hold energy of our loved ones. They also store memories. This is why psychic mediums use them to link to your loved one in the spirit world. But what I always tell my groups and all of my clients, you have something that no psychic medium has. You have the frequency of love. Love is what supercharges and creates the connection between us and our loved ones in the spirit world. And the symbol is the bridge that helps us get there. So I just made a great video about all of this, about the recipe of the symbol and your love as a way to connect. So, as I said, if you're interested more in this work, then go to the link in my bio or be sure to follow me and watch my videos. And say hi to me in the chat, anyone. I'm still here for a couple more minutes before we sign off. But really, the most important thing I want to leave you with this evening is something I said earlier, and that is there is no such thing as a lost loved one. Your loved one is not lost. They are not gone. They are not in the past tense. They are not any of those very painful words that we are all kind of programmed to hear and programmed to learn. The connection is real, it's love, and there is absolute and unbroken continuity between this world and the next. And it's something that you can access with practice and training and patience over time. And you, every single one of you out there, can have a spiritual relationship with your loved one where you will feel them and you will see them in your dreams and you can even feel their love again. So I can't think of a better place to sign off for the debut of Streaming and Dreaming with Elizabeth. And again, hit those hearts, follow me, and watch my videos. And I am going to chime us out with a big thank you. And as always, from my heart to yours. Oh, Marla from Ireland. Sorry. Um, Hi, Marla. I hope you'll join me in the next live stream. And For now, from my heart to yours, a big namaste.